Howdy Hexicans. Good to see you back on the Crypto Fitness channel. So today I'm just going to be running through some quick TA and just give my overall sentiment on how the markets are looking. Just looking through some of the charts, going to be looking at some legacy markets, some HEX of course, Bitcoin, and just a few other coins that I like in the crypto space. So let's go ahead, we'll jump right to it, and then after the technical analysis I'll be doing a Q&A on anybody who has any questions on HEX, some of the ladder theory, PulseX, game theory and PulseX, and some of the recent videos that I put out like yield farming. So if anyone has any questions on that, feel free to comment down below, or if you're in live chat, feel free to ask any questions in live chat. So let's jump to the charts here. And so first thing, Bitcoin, obviously we got to take a look at Bitcoin because it's the leading indicator. It's the leading coin in the crypto space as of right now. So we still have to use it as some sort of like beacon or like North Star, because whenever Bitcoin moves, pretty much the crypto markets move. So the first thing I like to look at when I'm doing technical analysis is just a Bitcoin. And right now, Bitcoin's actually looking like it's building up some strength. Let's start from the monthly time frames, and we'll work our way into some of the lower time frames. So like as far as monthly goes, it's like kind of hit or miss. It's hard to say exactly like where Bitcoin's going. And I think that's kind of painted a broader picture in the markets overall, is people can't really decide if they're bearish or bullish. A few things to keep an eye out for, like we got money flow wave. Seems like it's like dipping a little bit, but kind of staying even. Momentum waves are coming to the downside. The RSIs are staying right around the 60 line, and then the VWAP actually looks like it's flattening out and starting to head to the upside a little bit, if you can see this down here. And again, it's hard to kind of map out like what we're looking at as far as like the monthly chart goes, but as far as like the candles, we can take a look at some of the candles themselves. And if we turn on Market Cipher A, we're just like kind of floating in no man's land right now. We're just hanging out, and this is kind of the way that I see it. Is we've been in like this descending triangle, and we broke out of it, but now we're like retesting previous resistance and as support now. And we very well could head up to the upside. Now if we zoom in a little bit, let's go to the 2-week chart. So this is the 2-week chart, and this, like, when the closer I zoom in, the a little bit more bullish that I get, because we've got money flow wave is still in the green, and it actually looks like it might even be like slightly heading to the upside a little bit more. We got the VWAPs, or not the VWAP, we've got the RSIs. They've actually come down. The stock RSI and the traditional RSI have come down. They're below the 60 line. Look like they're starting to flatten out, maybe start to curve back up to the upside. VWAP is heading to the upside at the 0 line, so that looks like the momentum could be shifting, as well as the momentum. Momentum oscillator is below the 0 line. It looks like it could be pinching off here. And if it's pinching off here, if we get a green dot and that green dot confirms, we could see some movement to the upside. On top of that, if we look at like Market Cipher DBSI, let me turn off Market Cipher A so you can, shit. No, I don't want that. All right. If we turn off Market Cipher A, it makes it a little bit easier to see. If we look at the DBSI, the dual band strength index on Market Cipher, damn, why is it so glitchy? There's an 11 over a what is the top here? What is that, a 6? 11 over a 0. So there's an 11 over a 0 with the dual band strength index on Market Cipher. So that's it just tells us that the bulls are starting to gain some strength. Obviously this candle is obviously green, and it looks like it's kind of playing out exactly like I said. If we can get a pinch this off right here, get a green dot, it does look like, we're holding some sort of like support level here. We do have a Fibonacci level here. This is the 618 down to the 786 at about 33K. And it looks like it held support there. And then if we zoom in even more, if we come down to the weekly now, this is where things really start to look a little bit more bullish as far as like Bitcoin and the overall markets. So obviously a couple green dots, we got a couple snake eyes here, and the money flow wave. This is one thing that does concern me, is like the money flow wave is still coming down, and so that tells us that money is still technically leaving, but we can see that the VWAP here is starting to head to the upside, and it could be flattening out. Maybe we just skim the zero line here and maybe come back up. Maybe the RSIs, they look like they're flattening out and starting to head back up to the upside as well as there could be maybe a little bit of divergence here as well on the stock RSI and traditional RSI. And obviously it looks like this could head to the upside as well as the candles. If we look at the actual candles as well, I mean, we're getting a 12 over a -5 on the DBSI, and it looks like it's been holding strength here. Now, if we zoom down a little bit more on like the 2-day chart, now it really looks like we could be testing some higher levels. So now we're in the red, and these are classic buy signals in Market Cipher. We've got, down in the red, the VWAPs so let's back up. The RSIs and the stock RSIs are oversold, and you can see that the color change here tells us that they're oversold, and now they're heading to the upside, and we can see some positive price movement. If we take out our EMA ribbons, let's look at the EMAs and see where they're at. EMAs are we're testing the 100 EMA right now. We've broken past the 200 EMA at 42.4, and now we're looks like we're testing 44.5, and if we can break that, there's also like a little bit of a neckline. We can start to see kind of a little pattern here, maybe like an ascending wedge. And if we go down to the daily, we can really start to see that if this breaks out, there could be some positive price action for Bitcoin and really crypto markets in general. And one thing that really gets me bullish on not necessarily like Bitcoin, but the fact I think that there could be some positive price action here pretty soon, because look at this. This is like, if you don't know Market Cipher, this is like classic Market Cipher classic Market Cipher fundamental strategy. Is you look for curvature. So we're looking for curvature in the money flow wave. You can see like money flow wave is here in the green, is now come down into the red down here. But we can see that the money flow is starting to curve to the upside. You see that? You see how like that curve like that? That is like classic Market Cipher buying signal, as well as the momentum wave. We've got 2 green dots down here, as well as another green dot, a higher low, and then another higher little low here. So we've got momentum like just coming to the upside. So we have the momentum telling us we're coming to the upside. We've got money flow wave telling us we're coming to the upside, as well as the RSIs are oversold. And they're green and purple, which means they're oversold. But now that looks like they're starting to head to the upside this way as well. So the momentum shift, it just looks like this is like a big momentum shift, this area right here, and it kind of looks similar to like this area back here. But it's a higher low, right? So even though this does look like a double top, right, like this. And sorry, this is so ugly. Let me get rid of some of this shit. But it just looks like the momentum starting to shift for Bitcoin, and what that means is obviously crypto looks like it could be maybe seeing some green in the upcoming days. Like this right here looks very bullish to me. This momentum, as well as like you can see the money flow wave. If we take a look at let me pull this up so we can see this a little bit more. Money flow wave, obviously you can see like it's now heading up into the green. So we've actually already gone up into the green, as well as the VWAP has come down and looks like it's bounced off the zero line and maybe starting to head back to the upside. So like to me, like all of these signals look like we're going to start seeing some green here in maybe the upcoming days or like maybe even weeks. And so if we come back now to like this like mini little, I don't know what you'd call this, like ascending wedge, I guess, like clearly there's resistance in this area right here. Let me turn off the EMAs as well, because this is kind of messy. So clearly there is some sort of like pattern here, right? And there's clearly resistance right in this area right here between like 43 up to like 44. So I'm not saying for sure we're gonna go up. We could obviously go down if there's some sort of fundamental news like Russia or anything like that. Even legacy markets, we're going to take a look at legacy markets here in just a minute, but that could mean that maybe it bounces off this and we head back to the downside. That's very, very possible. So just because we're seeing these signals, I mean, these are like classic buy signals on Market Cipher, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're just going to go straight to the moon, right? Now, if we do break up to the upside, I would say this target is probably up closer here to this this Fibonacci level up here, this 786 up here at 56,000. But we are going to have some resistance before then as well. So like this range right here is clearly going to give us some trouble, right? Because we spent several weeks over in these areas, anywhere from the top of where we are now, which is around like the 44K mark, all the way up to 50K. 51K is going to give us some trouble. But if we break that, then I see this coming up here to the next area, which is the previous high, like the swing high from November of 2021, as well as like April and May of 2020 or 2021, right? Where we had like the double top. And if we can, honestly, I think that, like, if we can break that, if we can break these levels and we can retest some of these upper trend lines, I really do think that this could be like a second leg to the bull market, you know? Obviously right now we're in a bearish trend, but look, it like really looks like we could be breaking out of this bearish trend and now maybe making some sort of bullish trend. And if that's the case, if we can retest this upper level where Bitcoin's been at, I mean, I don't need to be the first one to tell you that if we see like a massive rally up to 56K, that's going to be great for altcoins. But again, there's going to be some resistance there. But let's take a look at something else. Let's take a look at, I do want to take a look at HEX. So let's take a look at HEX. HEX has obviously been rallying, and let's take a look at some of the the higher time frames. Now, one thing to be a little concerned with for me with HEX is like from a technical aspect. This is the way that I see it on the monthly. We don't have much data to go off the monthly because HEX hasn't been around for like super long time, except for the candles. We can see like the candles. Usually, when you get these candles with HEX and Ishi candles, if you get these candles that have no wicks on the top, but you have wicks on the bottom, typically that means that you're going to be in a strong bear trend. You can see like right up here, we've got candle no wicks on the top side, but we have wicks on the bottom side. You can see with the green ones, like if we look at past trends, same kind of trend narrative plays out. When we're in a steep uptrend, you can see the candle wicks are not necessarily on the bottom as much, but they are on the top, and that tells us we're in a steeper uptrend. And conversely, when we're looking at bearish trends, it's the same thing but opposite. So right now, obviously, look on the 2-week chart, we were clearly in a bearish trend. I mean, you can see like there's no wicks on the top, but there is wicks on the bottom. That doesn't mean that we're going to be in a bearish trend forever, but something else to keep in mind is that, to me, we were in a symmetrical triangle. Some people could call it like a descending triangle, but the way I see it, if we look at like the daily, it kind of becomes more apparent to me that it was a symmetrical triangle. I don't really count this wick down here, but this area, you know, we can see the trend line here. To me, that looks more like a symmetrical triangle, and now we're broken out of it. At the same token, though, just because we break down out of a pattern doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to go like way down. Like obviously, the 786 fib level here is holding pretty strong for HEX right now, and if Bitcoin can rally here, that could be good news for HEX. Obviously, there's times when HEX and Bitcoin are decoupled and decorrelated, but there's also times when they're not. And so obviously, you know, if we look at Market Cipher now, like on the 2-week period, the 2-week chart, we've got momentum obviously steeply coming to the downside, but we got the VWAPs, which is actually the volume weighted average price is flattening out and looks like it's starting to head to the upside. So this could be a trend reversal here as well, because, you know, once we zoom in a little bit closer, we can see that we're starting to get some different candles. And so you can see here that this looked like there could be some sort of a trend reversal here. And obviously we're using Bitcoin as the leading indicator to tell us if the market's bullish or bearish. And so if Bitcoin can make a turnaround and get into a bullish trend, then obviously we could see some positive price action for HEX as well. And you can see like right now, look, that same thing applies with these HEX and Ishi candles. We've got a steep decline and bearish trend here for the last like month or two since February, really since, what is this? Really since like December, right? Since about this, but we've seen like a steep decline since that time. But now it looks like we're getting possibly a doji candle here. And if this is a doji candle, doji candles are representative of trend reversals. So if that, you know, that could mean we hold the line here and maybe see a break to the upside, you know, which is obviously going to be great. But need I tell you, like anything fundamentally, anything going on in the geopolitical landscape, anything going on in like politics wise, as far as the economy goes, those can ruin this trend at really any time. So it's important that we stay vigilant. You know, we watch these things and see kind of how they play out. And I don't mean like watching the news and stuff, but just like making sure that we're paying attention to some of the main narratives. I don't necessarily like to watch the news, but I usually get my geopolitical, or, you know, I stay up to date on like Twitter and stuff is a really good place to find out like what the sentiment is like in the market. And it's kind of mixed right now. I've seen some bearish things. I've seen some bullish things. I'm starting to see more bullish stuff come out. But, you know, as far as like technicals go, on Market Cypher on the weekly time frame, we're still in the money flow in the green for HEX. The momentum waves have come way down to the negative 60 line, which is obviously a buy signal. And, you know, with this momentum, if we get a green dot here, if this pinches off here and we get a green dot, we could see some, you know, bullish momentum to the upside. As well as it looks like the 786 is holding. And now, obviously, we've seen some, it's got almost a 14% gain just today alone for HEX. You know, we're at 13 cents right now. And DBSI looks like it could be switching momentum as well. We've got an 11 over a 0 on this candle. So, I mean, there could be a pump coming here pretty soon for HEX. I'm you know, it's been in a bearish downtrend. Crypto never goes down and never goes up, you know, forever. And so we've been in a steep downtrend for quite some time. And even though we're breaking down technically out of this symmetrical triangle, there are, you know, not retracements, but there are several times when you break out of a pattern where you'll get a throwback, right? And when you get these throwbacks, just because it breaks out doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go way, way down. We can get a throwback and see some sort of pump and maybe make new all-time highs within the next couple months. So it really just depends. So let's zoom into the 2-day chart. And same thing, my classic buy signals for HEX. I mean, 2-day chart is in the red. It's starting to look like it's starting to flatten out and swing to the upside. We've got RSIs that are oversold. Momentum, we've got a green dot here on the momentum waves. We've been in the negative 60 line like for the last several months. I mean, these are classic buy signals on the 2-day chart. And now it looks like, I mean, this candle here, this area here, it just smells to me like a trend reversal. Yeah, it just does. Especially when I take a look at Bitcoin, and we can use that as kind of some confluence in this. And if we go down to the daily looks even better. The daily, look at this. We were in the red. We popped back up. We have a little turtle hump right here. Came back down in the green, or now down into the red. And now again, there's some bullish divergence right here. You can see we got a low, and then a higher low, and then an even higher low. But in price action, we have a low and a lower low. That tells us that the selling pressure could be slowing down, so that we either trade sideways or should see a trend reversal and maybe some room to the upside. So that, I mean, to me, these are great prices to buy HEX. I mean, 12 cents, 10 cents. These were, even right now is still a good price to buy HEX. I was dollar cost averaging, even at like closer to 15 cents, I was still DCAing. And I'll probably end up buying more here pretty soon. But these are just classic buy. You buy in the red, you sell in the green. So you buy here in the red, and you wait till it gets into the green, and that's when you sell. If you're speaking strictly from trading, obviously I'm not talking about staking HEX, because obviously you're getting paid to just hold it. So let's take a look at some of the more traditional markets. Let's take a look at like the Nasdaq and the S&P 500. And I've been tracking these for a while, and recently it's been looking like things have been, you know, we've got like, look, we've got a low here, we've got a higher low, a high, a swing high, we've got a new swing low, breaking new lows, a bounce up, another bounce down, making even lower lows, and now it looks like we're bouncing back up now. So it was looking weak to me, and it's still like overall when I look at like the weekly chart for the S&P and really for all the main indexes, they were looking relatively bearish. And right now it looks like could be getting some sort of trend reversal, because, you know, we were in this downtrend. If we go back to the daily, clearly, I mean, we were in this downtrend, the resistance all the way down here, and then obviously some support with these wicks down here. But now it looks like we're breaking out of that trend. And, you know, we could see something like this where we break out of it, we retest it, and then hold it as support. If we can hold it as support and then move forward, that could be indication of further movement to the upside. But again, this is just technicals, and the geopolitical landscape could fuck this up at any minute. And you can see here, I've actually taken a fractal. This fractal right here. This is the 2008 stock market crash of 2008. And if that did indeed play out, if we see some sort of, price action where, we just, my point is, you can see that this is actually following suit still. It's still modeling the trend of the '08 market crash. And I'm not saying that this is going to happen. It looked familiar. It looked similar to the stock market '08 crash. And so I decided to overlay this bars chart pattern. And so far it's been, it's been following suit. Now that doesn't mean it can't change. Maybe if we can, break out and go higher than these areas, that could be indication of a trend reversal. But the thing that I clearly want to show is that this chart pattern is playing out on all the main indexes. I'll show you what I mean. So that was the S&P 500. This is the Nasdaq. Okay, same type of thing, right? We've got highs, and now we're making lower highs, and it looks like it could be breaking out of that. Like this candle here, we've got a green dot on the weekly time frame. That's pretty strong. It needs to confirm still, but this could maybe be a trend reversal. And if we can break the previous swing high, if we can break the 16,800 level for the Nasdaq, then I think this will be invalidated. If we can make a new all-time high, I think this will be invalidated. But until that's the point, until that happens, I think that these legacy markets can come down further, right? We can see these lows. If it bounces up, we can see a bigger sell-off, and eventually, especially with how unstable the geopolitical landscape is right now. I mean, Russia. Actually, today I heard that I saw that Russia is thinking about selling their oil for Bitcoin. So that is kind of bullish as far as like crypto goes. But again, with this whole war going on, if that gets worse, I mean, that could trigger anything in the geopolitical landscape, could trigger like a major sell-off. So, and again, we can see that these same narratives are playing out on all the main indexes. If we go to some of the lower time frames, like the daily, we can see we were in a steep decline. We were in this channel, a descending channel here, and now it looks like we're breaking out of that channel and testing some of these EMA ribbons, some of these higher levels. And if we can break out past them, then these could be invalidated. But just wanted to show that we're seeing some similar things in all of the indexes. Same thing with the Dow Jones, right? In a steep decline, descending wedge, I guess you could call this. We got a high, a lower high, right? A high, lower high, a high, a lower low, a lower high, another lower low, and now we're making another lower high so far. And if this gets rejected here and we go down lower, again, it plays out exactly to the fractal of the '08 stock market crash. And again, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just noticing some peculiarities and noticing some of these things that are playing out very similarly to when the '08 crash happened. And again, and we haven't had a massive correction or massive capitulation event since obviously COVID, but I would argue that that's kind of a black swan event. Like nobody could have foresaw that happening. We haven't had like a real stock market crash since the 2008 crash. So over a decade, we're coming up on 15 years since a major capitulation in traditional markets. And do I need to tell you, if that happens, it's going to drag crypto down with it. Same thing with the New York Stock Exchange. I mean, same type of thing. These charts, it just make it look weak, right? If we come to the like the 2-week chart, if we really take a zoom out, you can see this trend line that the New York Stock Exchange is there's just clearly some resistance here, right? This is back in June of 2011. Okay, this swing high. We've got another swing high up here where it touched in December of 14. Another swing high in January of 2018. Obviously, we've got the March capitulation here of 2020, and then obviously, like right now, you can see it's hitting this same trend line and it's struggling. It's struggling to break past that resistance. So again, like when we take a look at these confluences, I guess you could call them, these just look very similar to, it just looks weak right now, the markets overall. And even though it's green today and crypto is looking good, doesn't necessarily mean that we're like completely out of the woods yet. And if we take a look at like this, right, we're just like, we just haven't been able to break this resistance for months. I mean, since years, over almost a year, since April of 2021 is how, you know, pitter patter we are with this trend line. Like we just can't break past this trend line, and now we're making lower lows. It just makes this index look weak. Whereas clearly, like over here, we can see that these candles, they look strong, right? We can see a clear uptrend. Right here, look how many wicks there are here. Look how many, just look how unstable and rickety it looks. And that's, again, that's just my opinion. But if we go back to like history, if we take a look at like some of the big crashes, right, it looks similar, right? So here's the '08 stock market crash, right? It looks similar. You know, we've got a swing high, a swing low, up to an all-time high, down to a low, and then a new all-time high, and then it makes a lower low. It tries to fight back, and this would be a dead cat bounce right here, and then the floor just falls out, right? It just can't sustain that level of energy. And if we go even further, okay, if we look to the this is the 2001 stock market correction, the dot-com bubble, and for the New York Stock Exchange, it doesn't look as bad as if we go to like the Nasdaq, because that's what popped is the tech bubble. But look, it's the same type of pattern. I'm showing you this to show you like the same type of pattern in the traditional markets overall. Look, you can see it flirts with these resistance levels, right? And you know, we try and break them. We had it once here, another time here, several more times throughout this little journey. And then you can see it makes a low, little dead cat bounce, it makes a lower low, another dead cat bounce, and then makes a lower low, and eventually just the floor falls out. So that's typically what we see with like history when we like try to break past these resistance levels. So if we go to today and we look at today, what we're doing now, I mean, how does that not look similar? If we come to like the 2-day, you know, look at that. I mean, we haven't been able to break these levels forever. We're just trying to break them, but it's so, you know, look at this. It just looks like it just can't get past these levels. And now we're making a low, a higher low, a lower low, maybe a higher high, maybe if we can get past some of these levels up here. But if this dumps again and make a lower low, you know, it's just looking weak. And if that happens, then it's, you know, obviously crypto's going to go down with it. So, and that's not to say maybe we have a pump from between now and then, and maybe we continue to like stay up in these areas for a little while longer before a bigger correction, before a bigger capitulation event. But like, if we look at like market cipher on a lot of these things, you know, money flows seems to be coming down. Momentum seems to be coming to the downside as well. Like, let me pull this up. Right. So we've got money flow wave coming down this way. We've got momentum. We've got some bearish divergence here. It's just looking like, you know, obviously the RSIs look like they're coming down as well. Look at that. I mean, lower lows and lower highs. So these are typical sell signals that we see, as well as, you know, the money flow wave looks like it's now coming down into the red for these bigger indexes. So just some things to keep in mind. It doesn't mean we can't have pumps between now and if there ever is some sort of massive capitulation again. And maybe I'm completely wrong, right? But I'm just showing you what I see on the charts here and what is possibly could happen. To me, it's like, look how much we've been going up since the March 2020. It just has gone like straight up, right? And this just doesn't look that sustainable to me. So in my opinion, I think at some point, whether that's, you know, the next couple of weeks, the next couple of months, or the next maybe year or two, I do think there's going to be some sort of like massive capitulation event. And if that happens, then obviously crypto's going to go down with it. So just a few of my thoughts as far as like the markets go right now. Let's take a look at, I guess we can go back to Bitcoin, because, you know, Bitcoin looks stronger than a lot of like the main S&P 500, some of these main indexes. So, And obviously, we got to keep an eye on the geopolitical landscape. So let's go to chat. Let's see how many people have questions. And do you think there will be a pulse dip, and will you get some more then? I do think there's going to be a pulse dip. Like typically when cryptos come out, I do think that let me go back to full screen. I do think that there's going to be plenty of opportunity to get into Pulse for really everybody. Because usually when cryptos come out, I mean, even if we look at like Hedron, let me show you Hedron real fast. If we go take a look at Hedron, this is typically what will happen when you see coins come out, right? So let's go to the daily because let's actually go to some of these lower charts. Okay, here we go. All right, so this is the 6-hour chart for Hedron, and I mean, look, like Hedron came out on February 25th, and Hedron took almost a 90% dip. What is that, a 90%? 90% correction. So I don't think that just because Richard Hart came up with Pulse Chain and PulseX, I don't think that makes them invincible. I don't think that makes them impermeable to corrections and dips, right? So if Hedron can do this, if HEX did the same thing, if we go back to HEX, let me look at HEX again. Actually, we need to go to the market cap chart for HEX because it doesn't give us the data with the traditional chart. So let's go back to the weekly for HEX. Okay. So look, I mean, even HEX, this is HEX, the market cap chart. Even HEX took a 96% correction when it came out. Right? So if HEX dips this hard, 96%, and if Hedron dips that hard, right? Then it's just hard for me to believe that Pulse Chain and PulseX and even HEX on the Pulse Chain aren't going to take some corrections, right? And so if something like this happens for Pulse Chain, there's going to be plenty of time to get in because I mean this is like an 89%. You had plenty of time. This low was February 22nd. This low was February 27th, and it didn't start going up really until about March 5th. So that's like, I don't know, a week or two. Is that a week? 25th to the 5th. Like a week. So you had like a week to get in, like on Hedron here, if you wanted to get some of these lower prices before it went on a big pump here. And like HEX, I think HEX was a little shorter, but yeah, I mean, I think Pulse Chain will retrace. I think there will be times for it to go head to the downside, and if that's the case, there's going to be plenty of time for you to get into it, right? And then the other strategy, there's several other strategies for Pulse Chain that a lot of people are talking about, like dumping your free PRC20s into Pulse Chain. So if you have Shiba Inu or like Chainlink or several other PRC20s, you could just dump those into Pulse Chain, right? Because you got them for free. And there's a couple other strategies you could do too. You could mint free Hedron tokens, and dump those into Pulse Chain. You could yield farm and dump your gains into Pulse Chain. You could also single side stake. So let me show you guys something. Let's jump over to the Pulse Chain, PulseX, I mean. So let me connect my wallet real fast. Connecting, switch network. All right. So a couple things. So with the PulseX single side staking, so you can see like this is how much I've earned. I've earned 1,172 PRT party token so far, which says it's about $2,600. These are fake numbers. I doubt the PRT is going to be worth that much. And I think from my understanding, the party token, just the PRT stands for like Pulse reward token. So I think what's going to happen, these are some of the rumors that I've heard as far as PulseX, is I believe you can stake PulseX to earn several different types of Pulse reward tokens. So there's not just going to be like one reward token you can earn for single side staking PulseX. I believe from what I've been hearing, this is not confirmed. Richard Hart has not confirmed this at all. But what I've been hearing in the community is that Pulse reward tokens, there'll be several different pools for single side staking your PulseX. And if that's the case, you might be able to stake your PulseX and maybe even earn Pulse chain tokens for staking your PulseX. Who knows? Maybe. So these are like several strategies you can use in order to like get more Pulse tokens. Another thing, you can do the free pulse.io faucet. So if you're looking to just like accumulate Pulse tokens, you can go to the free pulse.io and just start accumulating that way. I think you can do it every hour. And then also the single side staking for PulseX, you can earn like this PRT token. And even if you don't earn Pulse chain or directly, you can earn this PRT token. You can harvest it, right? I can claim 1,172 of these PRT tokens. And then what you can do is you can come over here to the exchange and just swap it over, right? Once you have PRT in here, you click PRT and you swap it for Pulse chain. And you literally can just stake your PulseX and just earn yield on it and then swap that over into Pulse chain if you don't have Pulse chain. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of strategies to get in on a Pulse chain, personally. That's just what I think. Be bullish. At Massima, I would say for sure, I have never seen a project launch that didn't have a... Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I do think that, there's going to be plenty of time to get in. And I think even if you have dry powder on the sidelines, I think, there'll be plenty of time for you to get in. And just dollar cost averaging is the best. Guzzle Store. Love your videos. By the way, do you have any recommendations for newbies like me? Just found out HEX. What's best strategy? Because I missed Pulse Chain and PulseX sacrifice phase already. Thanks, man. Yeah, so a couple of those I just went over with you. So you can just wait for the dips is obviously a great way to do it. If you just want to wait for the dips, just dollar cost average in. I mean, we're so early. I mean, I don't think people realize like how early we are with Pulse Chain and PulseX, and even HEX. I mean, even HEX, I think we're still super early. Bitcoin did a 6.9 million X return in a little over 11 or 12 years. And the great thing about HEX is that you're literally getting paid to hold it. You can stake it and just get paid to hold it. If people got paid 40% APY to hold their Bitcoin, we would have trillionaires today. So it's still super, super early for Richard Hart projects. I mean, we're still in testnet, right? So there's going to be, you haven't missed the boat, I promise you. And there's several strategies in which you can buy more PulseX, buy more Pulse Chain, and then yield those, right? You can yield farm, you can single side stake both of them, earn yield on them, and then buy even more, as well as, continuing dollar cost average with dry powder. So I hope that answers your question, Guzzle Store. Excited for Pulse. Yeah, I'm super excited for Pulse too, man. I can't wait. Tin Top. What's up, Hexicans? What's up, brother? Heinz Crypto, what's up, bro? Nice to see you in here. What's up, broski? So much good game theory to take advantage of. Yeah, I agree, man. PulseX, man, if people don't, I don't think people understand how dope PulseX is going to be. PulseX is going to be the greatest yield farming opportunity that crypto has ever seen. It's got lower transaction fees. It's got higher throughput, higher speed because of the Pulse chain. And it's completely deflationary. And we have over 1 billion locked in for it. I mean, that's just, you just can't match that anywhere. So it's going to be massive. Yeah, there will be several different pools just like PancakeSwap. Yep, there will be. Allegedly. Yes. So yeah, man, I'm super excited for Pulse Chain. I'm super excited for, Richard Hart projects. And I think it's going to be massive. So, Guzzle Store. Yep. Hell yeah. All right. Well, this is going to be just kind of a short one. Just wanted to do some TA. If anybody has any other questions, feel free to, you can email me at thecryptofitness@gmail.com. You can also, comment on this video or DM me on Twitter or Instagram at @ApureEscobar. So love you all. Can't wait for this shit to come out and start yield farming and taking advantage of these opportunities. One last question. I'm new here. Hello, everyone. What's going on? And what's this about Pulse Chain and yield farming? So major key. So the Pulse chain is a fork of Ethereum, and the PulseX is a fork of Uniswap, PancakeSwap, and SushiSwap. And they're all being built by one Richard Hart, who is the founder of HEX. And he's basically creating ETH 2.0 before ETH 2.0. It's called the Pulse chain. And then the decentralized exchange on the Pulse chain is called PulseX. And it's this right here. This is PulseX. This is the test net. And you can come on here and yield farm. You can practice your yield farming. And it's going to be insane because these are going to be probably some of the highest performing assets in the entire crypto space. So that's kind of like brief rundown. Only 140,000 holders of PLS to PLSX versus 180 million volume, or 180 million unique ETH wallets. Yeah, totally. And so the great value out of Pulse chain is that once people start to realize that they can bridge their liquidity, all the ERC20 tokens are going to get copies of all of that over on the Pulse chain. And once they bridge over their money, it's going to be like night and day difference between the Ethereum network versus the Pulse chain network, because it's going to be faster. The transaction speed is much faster. You have higher throughput. You have extremely low gas fees. I mean, like they're pennies, like literally less than pennies. So major key, Vontae, welcome. You're in the right place. Ask a bunch of questions. There's no dumb ones, and I think you will like what you find. Yeah, absolutely. Do your research on it. Hex.com. Look into hex.com. You can go to pulsechain.com, pulsex.com, howtopulse.com, hexgraphs.io, and there's another one. There's another one, but I can't remember what it is. So yeah, it's literally, this is the greatest opportunity in the crypto space right now. It is the greatest opportunity, hands down, bar none. And these assets are designed for positive price action. So there's been lots of speculation that these assets will do 10,000 X's. And they haven't even launched yet. So we're in very, very early phases. One more question. Where do we buy Pulse Chain and PulseX again? You can't buy them right now. There's a sacrifice phase for them, Guzzle. The sacrifice phase ended for PulseX a couple weeks ago, and the sacrifice phase for Pulse Chain ended back in July of last year. So you can't actually buy them right now because they're not even out yet. There is a test net though. This right here, this is the test net that you can come on here and trade fake money, right? Like fake, you can yield farm. So you can see like in the PulseX pool, I've been yielding single-sided staking 8,978,056 PulseX tokens, and that has been yielding me 1,174 RT tokens, party tokens. And I can harvest, I'll just harvest these for you guys right now. Confirm MetaMask. Let's open this up. And I'll show you, like, just watch how fast this transaction is. It's like literally 10 seconds. And you can, like, here's the gas fees. Like, the gas fees is 0.000552 TPLS, which is literally less than a penny right now on the testnet. It's like not even close to a penny. So you hit confirm and watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 22 seconds. Transactions confirmed, 22 seconds. So that one was actually kind of a long one. Usually it's like literally 10 seconds. So you can see I harvested all that PRT. If I come up here to MetaMask and come to assets, you can see the PRT tokens right here, 1175 PRT tokens. So you can come over here, you can test the testnet. I have a video on how you can install the testnet if you want to check that out. So it's pretty savage. Help, how do I see the Pulse Chain network via MetaMask when it launches? I want to know how to navigate the networks in due time. Can you make a how-to video when it's possible? I love your vids. Yeah, Fisolo, I've already made a video on how you can install the testnet. I literally just did one, what was it? Monday I did one. And my last video was a video I'll show you how you can install the testnet. And there's lots of instructions too. Richard Hart has a tweet. If you come here to Twitter, Let me see if I can find the tweet by Richard Hart. And let me see. I'll link this tweet in the chat. It'll literally, it has all the information, all the details you'll need to get the testnet running, and you can play around with these numbers yourself. Let me see as far back here. Here it is. Here it is. Let's see. Share. Copy link to tweet. Okay, I'm going to post this in the chat for you. There it is. You can, if you look at that tweet, that's from Richard Hart himself. It has all the links and everything you need to do to set up the testnet. Oh, wow, sounds awesome. I'll have to dig in, and I'll definitely have more questions soon. Major Key. Yeah, that's fantastic, Major Key. Feel free to ask any questions. I'm happy to answer anything. It's not launched yet, but when it is, it'll be on PulseX. Yep, true. Great work, Crypto Fitness, by the way. Appreciate it, Heinz Crypto. I love your work too, bro. I watch your videos all the time, man. If you, anybody in the chat, go follow Heinz Crypto. He's got a lot of great content as well. He's got a lot of really good information that he shares also. And he does some interviews. He did one with Crypto Panda and Crypto Kindness recently. Those were legit interviews too. Thank you, Mr. Muscles. Is that what you're calling me? Almo, thank you for the informative videos. Yeah, you're welcome, Almo. My pleasure. On how to do videos working the testnet. Yep, no problem. So is the testnet going to be the official Pulse chain when it launches? Thank you for the link. So is the testnet going to be the official Pulse chain when it launches? Yeah. So Richard Hart will tweet out when it goes live. Probably. So recently, Richard Hart did a video. I want to say it was it earlier this week? There was a Twitter space that he did earlier this week, and it was dope. He basically said I think he mistakenly said that the Pulse chain was going to be launched in the next couple of weeks, and a lot of people kind of took that to heart. So we'll see, man. We'll see. Hopefully, it's in the next couple of weeks, but it could be longer than that. No expectations of profit from the work of others. So when he is ready to launch it, then he will let us know via Twitter. So I recommend you go follow Richard Hart via Twitter, and that way you can stay up to date on when it goes live. So Davis, you made it. Well, you made it too late because I'm just about to head off here. So yeah, Heinz Crypto, we need to do a stream soon. Just hit me up. Yeah, I'm down, man. I'm down. Let me know when you want to schedule it. I'm down to do it. We can. We should get. What I'd like to do is to get a bunch of people on a stream. Like Crypto Panda, who else? Crypto Kindness, Rags to Riches. I was playing chess against Rags to Riches not that long ago. So anybody else who wants to join up on the stream, I think it'd be dope to do like a big massive stream, and maybe like a consistent thing. Maybe like once a week we do like some sort of panel where we host on several people's different channels and shit. I think that'd be dope. So I'm down. I was close to my 9-cent bottom prediction. Yeah, you're right, Davis. Yeah, you were right. We hit 10 cents and we almost broke 10 cents, but we'll see. Bless you, Mr. Fasolo. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, for sure. Let's get it going. That'd be straight. Yeah, I'm down, man. Hit me up. Let's set it up and see if we can get the people in it. So, all right, guys, I'm going to jump off. That's it for now. I'll probably be doing a video probably this weekend. I don't know what I'm going to be doing it on, but probably be doing some sort of video. Maybe release it on Sunday or Saturday or Sunday or something. So stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys all later. Peace.